Oh my god, I almost had a perfect intro. What is up, everyone? Of course, first thing I get on here. That's great. My camera got messed up. I told you it was gonna happen, Dad. But it's not. It's a different scene and it messed it up. Jeez Louise. What is up, Playboy? Welcome on in. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Today we are doing the podcast on Tuesday, which does not normally happen. I do know, but I would like to go on the record and say that I was actually on time for this stream, unlike every other one. Um, and I do actually have our guest today, which is none other than my father. And here we are, Dad. You are actually showing. So, we are going to learn a bit about you. My community came up with a lot of questions to get to know you better and see exactly who Father Sin is. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I will take over with some questions afterwards.
Uh, my name's Jim. I live in Florida. I'm 51 years old.
Oh, I got that wrong. You're 51.
Yes,
I thought you were
born in
54.
1972. Thank you very much.
Oh, my bad.
Nice. Way to go.
I did. Somebody asked me last night. We were prepping for the podcast, and he goes, "How old is your dad?" And I go, "I think he's like 54. Gonna be 55."
Nice. Nice.
My
Haven't
bad,
made it there
pops.
yet.
My
Hopefully I
bad,
will.
pops. Anyway, continue.
I'm a project manager for a pretty good sized construction company down in Florida.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'm married.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't prep for this, but I mean that just tells you a little bit about me. But I mean, if there's questions people want me to answer, I'd be more than happy to.
They will. We will ask those in just a second.
Okay.
Hold on. My
Okay.
mic got so messed up just now. It was picking up every sound in my freaking house. I don't know what just happened. I just saw it going off the fritz on my OBS, and I'm like, why is this so loud? Okay, hold on. I have no idea what just happened. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, a couple of the questions that people had for you was, like I said, I'm very open on, like throughout the community and the podcast, on my streams, do a variety of things. So there isn't much about my life that people don't know. Um, I guess we would like to start with this is kind of going to be an experiment of where I also get to learn you better as my father now that I'm an adult too.
Right on.
Um, One of the things that I guess we can kind of touch base on and lead into it is your life, like right before you became a father. Okay, so how was your life before you were a dad? Where were you at in life? What were you doing? Like, what were some struggles that you had right before you found out that you were going to be a dad?
Um. Well, I managed a subway in Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. I was going to the University of Hartford at the time. Um. Your mother was going to the community college there in Hartford. We didn't live together, but we lived in the same town. Uh,
Okay.
so I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was going to school. Uh, I partied a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
it wasn't the best time of my life, but I thought it was okay because I was at least going to college.
Yeah. So that's
You know,
why you were out in Connecticut because you're from the St. Louis area. So that's why you were
yeah.
out in Connecticut was because you were in college.
No, that's not how I got to Connecticut. No,
How did you get to
I
Connecticut?
okay. So I was a bad child, like I very bad, and um, I'd gotten in trouble in the St. Louis area. I'd gotten into trouble so many times that the judge in the St. Clair County Circuit Court. decided that if I had two choices because she never wanted
Mhm.
to see me in her courtroom ever again. So I had two choices. I could
Okay.
go to Cook County, Illinois Department of Corrections for youth until I was 21, or I could move to Florida with my real mother and
Mm.
never come back to Illinois again. Well, until I was 21. Not never again, but I couldn't come back until I was 21, or I had to go to jail until I was 21. So I believe I was 14 at the time. Didn't want to
Oh
go to
my
jail until I
God.
was 21. Yeah, so I opted to go to Florida and live with my real mom because I mean it's Florida, you know.
Oh, so you
Uh,
lived with Linda for a while?
yeah, for a short time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we lived in Lake Worth, Florida. Uh, on my sixth, well, after I just turned 16 down there, I came home from work and she packed up with her husband at the time and they moved back to Illinois. So now I'm 16 and I couldn't go to Illinois because the judge told me I had to stay out of there. And that's where she went. I was like, that sucked, you know? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. And then, so like I said, I was a bad kid and now I'm 16 years old and I have no adult supervision whatsoever.
Yeah.
Me and a friend of mine named Dave stole a truck right off of the Mitsubishi lot, a brand new truck, no miles on it. And we and we drove from West Palm Beach, Florida to Danielson, Connecticut, stealing
Why
gas all the way up.
stealing gas the entire way up there?
Yeah,
See, I
he was
never
from
knew how you
Connecticut.
made it
He
out
was
to
from
Connecticut.
well, my buddy was from that area.
Yeah.
I had nothing, you know. My sister, one of my sister, my oldest sister Donna lived in Florida at the time, and you know she had a lot of kids,
Yeah.
and I could have stayed. I could have stayed with her, but instead me and my buddy just decided to go to Connecticut. So yeah,
Okay.
uh, and that's how I got to Connecticut.
Okay, so you're in Connecticut. And
Yeah,
then, so you're at 16, you're in Connecticut. Where did you go from
yeah.
there? Did you ever
Well,
get caught for stealing?
yeah, they picked us up. Me and my buddy got arrested. They chased us, uh, and they finally caught us in the stolen vehicle. And he was from Connecticut, so he had family up there. So they
Mm-hmm.
allowed him. I think he spent 2 weeks in jail, and they allowed him to go to his family's house. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have family there, so I was a flight risk. So they made me stay. Um, but he wasn't a flight risk, so they let him out. The next court date, he didn't show up to because he took off back to Florida, and I showed up to
Oh,
court,
that's too
and
funny.
right, just the opposite of what they thought would happen.
That is
And
too
I
funny.
got the Mitsubishi and the insurance company dropped all the charges against me,
Oh, really?
and yeah, they let me out. Spent 2 months in jail, and they let me out, and no state from Florida all the way to Connecticut wanted to press charges for the theft of the gas that we had stolen all the way up. I don't know. I don't know who was on my side, but somebody was, and
Somebody clearly was on your side, yeah. Okay.
so they dropped all charges against me. So I spent 2 months in jail and got out. They didn't know anybody. You know, I had to go to a homeless shelter.
Oh my.
I
Okay,
was
so that's what I'm gonna ask next. Is like so because you can't go to Illinois, and that's where your dad is, and your now your biological mother Linda's out there, and you
right.
have nowhere else to go, and you're stuck in Connecticut, and this is you're still 16 at the time,
Yeah, it was right before my 17th birthday. The
so you had to go to a homeless shelter because you have nowhere to go.
Right. So
Okay.
the counselor at the homeless shelter was going to uh, put me into foster home or uh, um, just going to make me a ward of the state. You know what I mean? Because I was still a minor.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but they didn't do that because I proved to them that I could take care of myself, that I could get a job and I could, you know, do what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I did for uh, a few months. I did
Okay.
the right thing for a few months.
So then where were you at? Okay, so after this, between this time and then you're at 17, so you're still in Connecticut, and you didn't have me until you were 23 or 22,
Right.
gonna be 23 because my birthday's right before yours.
Right.
So you stayed up there for the whole 6 years?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because when they released me from the jail,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing the right thing for a while, but then I got back into my old ways and I ended up going to prison
Right,
in
yeah.
Connecticut for a few years, 3 years.
So
Uh, yeah, 3 years.
at this point in time in your life, had you already come in contact with the drugs and alcohol? Did you already have a problem with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was 17 years old and I was already drunk by noon. You know, what I mean, I'd already passed out and was, you know,
Yeah.
passed out drunk. You know, I wasn't just have a few drinks drunk. I was
Yeah.
passing out. I mean, I don't even remember half of the.
I know we've talked about that actually in a little bit of length because at one point in time when I went through the recent breakup with my youngest, with his father, there was like some dark times where the depression was getting to me, and I had confided in you a few times to be like, "How did you know you were an alcoholic?" Like I was worried that I was one, and we had talked about that at great length a few times actually.
Right.
I know. Um, okay, so then, right. Okay, so right before you're becoming a dad, though, was there like a point in time where you cleaned up your act at all? Where you started to get better, or were you still
Uh,
pretty heavily involved?
yeah, I was. Yeah. It.
Yeah,
It. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't. I was
yeah.
pretty heavily involved for quite a while.
Hold on, let me do this for you real quick.
Okay.
Does that make it better for you so you can actually see me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just realized that I was like, here, let me go ahead and just do that so you know, like I'm actually here and I'm like watching you and talking to you and listening.
Right on.
um, so whenever you obviously, you met my mom. Whenever you found out you were gonna be a dad, what were the first thoughts that were going through your head?
Shit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. I was. I was excited.
Were
I
you
was
excited?
excited.
Yeah.
I was. I was very excited.
Yeah.
I'd always wanted a mini me, and so I was happy about it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And then, so we kind of, we'll fast forward a bit here. We'll talk through the timeline here. Um, then, obviously 4.5 years later, you have my brother, unfortunately. Yeah.
But, I
Yeah.
mean, your brother. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. No,
Love him to death too.
that's my best friend. I love him. I'm wearing, that's actually his
Yeah.
hoodie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. He gets to see it on camera.
I know. I can't wait for him to come on in and be like, nice hoodie. I'm like, thanks.
Right.
Whenever I went down,
Appreciate it.
whenever I went to Ohio, actually, not this last birthday, the birthday before last year, when I went to go see him, I had taken this with me. I stole it. I
Nice.
jacked that from him. Yeah, yeah.
It's all
Um,
good.
for what it's worth, just so you know, I do not remember this side of my father when I was younger. I don't. I never. no memories of you ever being drunk or doing drugs or anything really.
Oh, never in front of you. No.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a plus side. You didn't fuck me up mentally like that. So that's good. I just
Yeah.
remember my dad being there, and then all of a sudden you had to move to Florida. So let's
Well,
fast forward to that a bit. You went ahead. You are, let's see. I want to say I was 8. It's been 20 years that you've been in Florida, almost 21, right?
20, 20 this year.
20 this year, yeah.
Uh,
Cuz I turned 28 this year.
November. November will be 20 years.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Aunt Shirley was a huge help to you with us, right? She was like a huge part of you getting
Yeah.
sober and stuff. Yeah. Talk me through
Absolutely.
that.
That wasn't even a requirement for me to move down here and her to help me. That I'd been down here, well, 5 years before I got sober.
Mhm.
I so I was still drinking when I lived down here.
Yeah, I remember you
Me and
telling me
Uncle
that
Mac,
later in life. I remember you
me,
telling me that. I thought, you moved down
me
here,
and
you
Uncle
got sober
Mac
right
used
away.
to no, me and Uncle Mac used to go and with football. That's our thing. We love football. We'd watch football together and you know
Mhm.
drink quite a few Bud Lights together. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been down here 20 years in November, but I'm only 15 years sober. So
Yeah.
you know,
Um I had a question on the tip of my tongue. Actually it's just a comment. I actually did not realize until a few years ago maybe. I'd probably say within the last like 8 years or so. Probably before I moved back to Illinois. I learned around that time that Uncle Mac was also a recovering alcoholic. I did not know
yeah.
that. Yeah,
We
I
used to
did
go to
not know
meetings
that.
together.
Huh?
We used to go to meetings together, and um, my boss at the time was also a recovering addict or alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
So when Uncle Mac's anniversary would come up, or my anniversary would come up, he would give me the morning off, and so Uncle Mac and I could go to the meeting together for our
Oh,
anniversaries. So yeah, it was a whole collective of people that got me to where I need to be.
yeah. I did actually. Corey had sent over some questions because, like I said, I had a bunch of people. They're putting together a bunch of questions for you. Um, I'm gonna bring his up now though because his kind of are relevant to the topic here. Um, he asked, "How was Aunt Shirley able to build you back up? Was it the good environment, someone caring around you, or the stability that helped the most? What was it that she did in aiding you that helped you the most with getting sober?"
She just she had or two things she did just, and that's all she needed to do. One was that she uh she loved me obviously when I couldn't
Yeah.
love myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And she showed me that she believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not we're not a big mushy family.
No.
But she did. No matter what I did, sure I did stupid stuff and I was in the wrong, but she didn't beat me up over it. She just helped me pick myself up by my bootstraps and keep moving forward.
She's very good about that. Still to this day,
She is.
she's very good about that.
Yeah, no question. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's one of my favorite people,
Same
you know.
here. Mine too. She's one of my favorite people too. Jordan, he has been sober. It was his 15-year anniversary this year.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
July 15th.
I was gonna say
It's
I have it
15
here
years.
somewhere. I have it in my calendar actually. It says Dad's anniversary, and then I have Mama Jackie's anniversary too. I have it in my calendar, so I have it every year. Oh, hello.
When's our anniversary, baby?
Our anniversary was Monday the 18th.
Yeah, so you think.
1 year,
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we've been together for 2 years. Corey says hi, by the way.
Two, Hi, Corey. 2 years, huh?
Yeah, me and Corey have been together for 2 years. Dad thought it was just a year. Yeah, it's
I just
crazy.
can't believe I just can't believe you put up with him that long. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding.
Baby, Dad thought it was
I
one
don't.
year, and then he goes, "I just can't believe he's put up with you that long." He said, "Yeah, me
Just
either."
kidding.
Yeah.
Just
Anyway,
kidding.
um,
Actually, I said it the other way though. I said I can't believe you put up with him, but that's
oh,
okay.
did you? Oh, see, I was just automatically assuming you were talking shit about me, so I was ready for
No,
it.
no. You're one of my favorite people too.
Oh, thank you. Who else would you say was a big like a big influence or a big person in your corner that helped you get sober? Were there any like moments that stuck with you that like you still think about to this day?
You know what's funny is that Uncle Mac got sober before me,
Yeah.
and he used to love you know they got different kinds of meetings, and one of the meetings he used to love was speaker meetings. And he used to come home all the time because I lived with them, so he'd come home all the time with these CDs of different speakers from all over the country.
Mhm.
And you know he's not really technically inclined. He doesn't. Technology escapes him.
Oh god, I love
Uh,
watching Uncle Mac trying to piece together anything with technology. It is amazing.
right. So
There is a
I had a
reason he
brand
got
new.
super pumped about a label maker for Christmas one year from Grandpa.
Exactly. But I had a computer that I built. Um, so he wanted me to copy all these CDs for him. Now here's the ironic thing. He wasn't pushing me to go to meetings. Shirley wasn't saying anything to me or anything like that. But
Mhm.
he used to bring these CDs home, and I would sit there and I would continuously drink Bud Light while recording or while burning CDs for AA meetings. I mean, how funny is that?
That's so
Yeah,
ironic.
right. So then I just started listening to him as I was burning them and drinking and listening to him. And there was this one guy. His name was Clancy. Uh, Everybody loved him. He used to tell the
Mhm.
best stories. And I found out he was going to be in Cocoa Beach, Florida, which is, I mean, 2 hours away, maybe hour and a half away.
Yeah, about an hour and a half from you.
Yeah, so I
I used to go to Cocoa Beach.
immediately immediately bought tickets,
Hi, Papa.
got a hotel,
Mhm.
uh, stayed up there. So he was another guy, and I met him.
Oh yeah.
You know, oh yeah, I didn't waste any time like that. Uh, Uncle Mac wanted something, asked me to get something signed or get just to say hi to him.
Yeah.
So I went up and started talking to him, and Clancy was a baseball fan,
Oh yeah.
so he signed a book for me for Mac. Mac didn't know I was bringing it to him, but I got him to sign a book, and I brought it to Mac, and that was awesome. But Clancy was listening to his stories, and
Mhm.
then meeting the guy. I was You would have thought that I had just met like the president or one of my favorite superheroes. Do you know what I mean? Growing up, it
Yeah.
was like it was like I just met Superman. Like that's
Yeah.
how. And here I was, grown ass man going to meet another grown ass man, and I was in awe. I couldn't believe it. It was spectacular.
Do you
So
think
he was a big influence on me.
do you think that Uncle Mac knew what he was doing? Do you think he did that intentionally? Or do you think that it was purely just organically coincidental that it happened like that?
I think I think that was more organically. It just
Yeah.
see there's something to be said about, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but my life,
Yeah.
and this is what I mean. No matter no matter what, I always fall into the biggest piles of shit, and I come out smelling like a rose. I mean, but
It's genetic, by
I
the
took it
way.
for granted my whole life. You know,
Mhm.
like I always took it for granted, and now the biggest rock in my life, other than my children, is
Mhm.
my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
She
she
also had an anniversary recently too, didn't she?
in April,
April. Well, that's it. Yeah, recently is
but
April.
she keeps me grounded or humble.
Mhm.
And when anytime anytime I fall into shit and smell like a rose, she lets me know, hey, and just show a little gratitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She keep she she's my wife, but she's my therapist. She's my
Yeah.
best friend. She keeps me where I need to be, and she lets me know. She calls me on my shit. You know.
She's been a great addition to the family. I know me and her had a rocky start when you guys first were dating and getting married and stuff because I was a teenager that
You
was very
you were a kid.
very
I mean,
I was and I mean I can't tell you how many times I've apologized to her still as an adult and I'm just like I am so sorry you had to deal with that and she's like
well,
that is what it is, you were growing up, but we have a
right,
really good relationship now that I'm an adult.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Hmm.
do I do remember you had said that you had spoken at meetings. Do you still speak at meetings?
No,
No.
um, I haven't been to a meeting. Well, okay. Up until this year, I hadn't been to a meeting in a few years.
Mhm.
Now, that doesn't mean that I still don't hang out with all my friends from AA, because I do.
Yeah.
I hang out with them. I'm Facebook friends with them. We talk through messaging, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if you remember Ashley, Jackie's maid of honor.
Mhm.
She just had an anniversary.
She
I think it
did?
was 18 years.
Good for her.
Um,
Congrats.
so me and Jackie went to a meeting for her to celebrate her anniversary a
Oh,
couple
that's
weeks ago.
awesome. When you did speak at meetings, what did you talk about? What did you
Well,
say or what moments did you share?
the thing about speaking at meetings, if you go to a speaker meeting or anything like that, people tend to, depends on who's speaking. A
Yeah.
lot of people like to get up there and tell war stories about how it was for them before they come to
Mhm.
AA. I don't like reliving those moments.
Mhm.
So I qualify, I show them that I qualify to be at that meeting.
Mhm.
And then after that, I go straight to how my life is after getting sober. Like
Yeah.
what AA can do for me, can do for anybody. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I didn't really like to say, I didn't like to speak about, all the lemons I got. I just like to tell them how sweet the lemonade was.
I remember you had told me that at one point, whenever you did, not yet, Jordan, we'll be doing questions here in a minute. We're kind of leading into those. I remember at one point you had told me that once you had a certain mark, you had called me and Riley to let me know that you had gone to meetings. And you had said that I had said something to you about how proud I was of you. And you had told me that that was something that kind
Oh,
of was like in the
definitely.
back of your mind, like kind of helped you stay
All,
the right
yeah.
path.
All the little things that like that, because they're not little things. They may be, you know, somebody saying I'm proud of you. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is. It
Yeah.
really, it's not so much that I need to be patted on the back for living life on life's terms,
Yeah.
because everybody else has to do that too, and they're not getting
Yeah.
parades or pats on the back or anything like
I
that.
get that.
But anything to help, keep you on the positive side of it, so you're not
Mm-hmm.
thinking about anything like that, is definitely huge. And coming from one of your kids, which I, I honestly, your kids shouldn't have to tell you that they're proud of you for doing something that you're supposed to be doing anyway. But when you did, that really was huge. That was very huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me see here. Riley texts me. He's not gonna be able to join because he can't figure out how to download it on his phone, and he's getting frustrated. And you know how short my brother's temper is,
Oh,
so he gave up.
yeah. Yeah.
um,
No, it's better. It's better for him anyway.
um, we did have. So now in your life, so you and Mama got married, October, was it 20th or 21st of 2012?
Scary, yeah. See, you and her both. Like, really? It's the 20th. I
Okay.
mean, you was in the wedding. She was in the wedding.
It was her wedding, so
Riley
if anybody's gonna get
was
like
in the
blamed for
wedding.
that, like you should be getting upset with her, not me.
All you guys were in the wedding. I'm the only one that remembers when it was. I'm the oldest one. I'm supposed to have a bad memory, and nobody else remembers but me.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to
It
tell
was
you on that.
October 20th, 2012.
Now, how did you and Mama meet?
I like to tell people we met at church because nobody in their right mind thinks that I'd ever be at church, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the AA meeting was at the church,
Mm. I was going to say, was the meeting at the church?
and and I was the coffee drinker and the coffee maker,
Mm-hmm.
and now some new girl from Dunkin' Donuts was coming in and going to start making the coffee. I'm like, oh, not on my watch, woman. So I used to say little slick comments to her, and she used to turn around and give them right back to me. And it was pretty much at that point, you know what I mean?
I had never
Wherever
knew.
wherever she was, I was at. If she was at the picnic at downtown Stewart, yep, Jim was at picnic at downtown Stewart. If she was at the only
So
time
you
that I
started
couldn't
stalking
go to,
her, is what you're saying?
pretty much the only
Okay,
time I
persistence.
wasn't
Got it.
able to go where she was is if she went to an all women's meeting, and well, obviously I can't go to those, you know.
Yeah.
So
Jordan did ask a quick question. She said, "Did it help being in AA together, or was it hard to both be previous alcoholics and being together?"
well, I'll tell you what, um, because we both been through similar situations.
Mm-hmm.
If something came up and I needed somebody to talk to, that part made it easier. But at the same time, if we because we lived together, and
Mm-hmm.
if I did something to piss her off, if we go to the same meeting, she can't really talk
Yeah.
about how I pissed her off because we're in the same meeting. You know what I mean? So sometimes it was easy. Believe me, it was the best thing for us.
Yeah.
But we also had to rely on our phone and talking to other people. Like she would call her sponsor or other girls in the program whenever it's that she could bitch about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa. So but because all problems are not the same, but there's some of them are similar. We were able to, if I was having something going on in my life, like with work, I could talk to her about it.
Yeah.
And she never made my problem seem less than. So it made it easier for us you know, to not. And then I would talk to her about it, and then she would give me this, and this is the hard part. We would give each other the answer that we didn't want. You know what I mean? But we
Yeah.
needed.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
right, yeah. It's it's
We
it's not what we
we
wanted to
have
hear. It's what we needed to hear.
we have definitely reached some moments in our relationship where um Corey is we're really good at holding each other accountable. We're really good at holding
Yeah.
each other accountable for things. And it's really, really tough sometimes because he's my best friend. He definitely is my best friend. And, being a mother of young kids, I don't really have many friends to begin with. And so, like, pretty much my only friend.
Understand.
And he's like, I hold his opinion above everybody else's. Like, like yours is one, yours, Mama's,
I
Riley's,
got you.
and
Yeah.
Corey. And it's like, if you guys make a comment and it's like, you know, it's gonna hurt my feelings. It's gonna hurt my feelings tenfold because it's just like I
Right.
hold your guys' opinions next to God. You know what I mean? Like it's up there. Like that's law basically.
Right. And I understand that. Um, but another thing too is that she knows if I'm just, you know, to come home from work and I'm silent or something, what's
Mm-hmm.
wrong? And she's not one to say what's wrong. I say, nothing, and that's it. Oh no. She will keep asking until I finally,
Yeah.
you know, she won't let me sit in my shit.
I can't pester Corey like that. I have to approach it differently. I have
Yeah,
to
well,
approach it
everybody.
as I ask him what's wrong, and if he tells me nothing, I go, okay. And then I sit in silence. I make sure I'm like, well, I'll get his food for him. I'll make sure he has clean clothes. Let him go take a hot shower. You know, I'll go ahead and be like, oh, do you want to watch a movie? You want to spend some time together or something? Like the quality time. And then if something's really eating at him, he'll open up and he'll like talk to me and like, you know, just kind of let it
Yes,
loose. But I found that if I
everybody.
pester him and ask him what's wrong and keep doing that, that's when it's like it does the opposite effect where it just like it angers him almost, and he's
Well,
just like,
yeah.
listen, nothing's wrong, but it's about to
Well,
be.
that's what Jackie does. Jackie pesters me until I get so aggravated that I just tell her what the freaking problem is, and hopefully she'll stop. But no, I'll tell her what the problem is, and then we get to the root of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, but that's exactly what it is. I get so frustrated that I just finally, and she knows what she's doing. I mean,
yeah,
it, you know, we've been married for 10 years, getting ready to be 11 years, but we've been together for 14.
yeah.
She knows how to
I just
push my buttons,
I
you
just want to
know.
say the gift that I got you guys for your anniversary. I think it's your first anniversary. That would have definitely been a better gift for like a 10-year anniversary, but I got you that clock that's like engraved and stuff. Like should have been a. Do you not know where my gift I got you is?
Um, she does. I guarantee you, she does.
It's out. There's like you have a display case somewhere out in your living room, I think, or like
Oh
in the
yeah,
front room.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
out
yeah. It's
there.
in the thing. You're
Yeah.
right. It is in there. I
Uh
know
huh. Yeah,
exactly.
I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
It's in
Mm-hmm.
it's in that glass case. It is because
Yeah, I want an
everything's in
extra
there.
$50 for my Christmas bonus this year, just for that. Yeah, 100%. All
you better you better tell your
right.
best friend Corey.
Listen. He's gonna tell me it's gonna be going to all these kids. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's reel it back in here. So you and Mama get married in 2012. You guys are together now. It's gonna be your 11-year anniversary. So you're doing really good for yourself. You started doing what did you say it was project development? Was it
Project manager.
project manager? Sorry guys. My dad's actually not a hard worker. My dad actually gets to sit in an AC truck all day. He tells me and Corey about it like once a week, and my brother actually too. He gets to sit in the AC while everybody else does the work, and he just gets to drive around and be home by like noon.
I paid my dues.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
I didn't get this handsome in 51 years by not working.
So let me ask you this. So you were a groundskeeper for a while. You worked for the Cardinals
Yes,
back in the day. And then
and I,
now uh
I worked for the Marlins and the Dolphins first.
you did. Okay.
Yeah,
Was that
I worked.
whenever Christine was pregnant with me?
Yes.
Okay. I knew you guys went to Florida for a while when she was pregnant with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so you've been working outside a lot, and then you were
My whole life.
diagnosed. Yeah, you were diagnosed with skin cancer, right?
Yes.
When did that diagnosis come in? When did you get diagnosed with skin cancer?
Oh, 7 or 8 years ago. 7 years ago. Yeah.
Tobias is gonna be 7. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I feel like it was before I was pregnant with him.
It could have been.
Okay.
Shit, you could have told me it was 13 years ago. I'd have been like, yeah, yeah, that was it. I don't know. I don't. I don't keep a. I didn't put that on my calendar. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand. But because since the diagnosis, though, you've had to make changes. So, like, you wear these long sleeve shirts whenever you go outside, caked up in
Every day.
sunscreen, you got a hat covering your head and stuff. Do you still do those treatments?
Yes.
Yeah.
I I did the treatments for about 6 months, and it went away, but now it's back again. So gotta keep doing the
Now,
treatments.
what are the treatments? What can you talk me through? Like, describe sort of like how what
It,
treatments you take for
it's
it
just,
or what you do?
it's just lotion that you put on this on your skin twice a day. You got like a part A and a part B. So part A
Right.
I put on in the morning, and then after my shower at night I do part B. And
Gotcha.
the doctor, the dermatologist doctor, described it as liquid chemo.
Liquid chemo.
Yeah, it's not. Believe me, it's not as bad as chemo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in any way, shape, or form. But
Yeah,
it
don't worry, chat.
does.
His hair fell out actually due to genetics. It had nothing to do with the chemo.
Yeah, I've been bald since I was 24.
Look out, Riley.
The Yeah, Riley better watch out. It's actually that is where most of the skin cancer is, though, is on my head.
Okay.
And
Because I knew you talked about you had found there was like a patch or something or like a mass that was on
on
your
my hand,
hand.
yeah, on
Yeah.
both my hands, and I've had numerous spots, or I've had them cut out. It's called Mohs surgery. They it's really crazy. They numb my hand, or I had some cut out right here on my head, but they numb it, and then they take this thing that looks like a hole punch,
Mm-hmm.
and just stick it on my head, and they just twist it, and it digs in as it,
Yeah.
and then they gotta take it to their lab and look at it, and make sure that there's no make sure they got it all inside that area. Otherwise, they got to come back and dig out more and then go back. It can take a long time. Um, but I've been lucky with that as well. You know, they go in, they cut it, they get it all, they sew me back up, they send me home um, until my next surgery or
Do they
whatever. You know,
ever do they ever take enough skin off to where like you need a skin graft or is it just in small spots where it sews up on its own?
no. Jackie was worried about that on my head
Mm-hmm.
because it usually leaves and it did. It left a little dent. It usually leaves a really big dent, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or and they tell you if you get something cut on your head, you should go to a plastic surgeon. But like I tell everybody else, and like I just said a few minutes ago, I'm 51 years old. I don't care
You're
if my
married.
head looks like
Who you gotta
yeah, if it looks
impress?
like if it looks like they took a whole bunch of ice cream scoops on top of my head, oh well, I wear a hat anyway, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And everybody you keep around you is too short to even see the top of your head anyway. So
True story.
yeah.
I mean, you 4 foot nothing, right? You know what I mean?
First of all, I'm 5'2" and 3/4.
Okay, okay, Kevin Hart.
The disrespect. Your youngest grandchild, I think, actually has my height because he is short and stout. He is short and
Stevie?
stout. And your middle is definitely he's got his dad's height, and then your granddaughter, she's gonna be tall. They're all gonna be taller than
Yeah.
me by the time they're 10.
Oh yeah.
Your granddaughter's
Oh, if
already
you
like basically there.
if you give them that long, yeah.
Yeah, I mean she's got like another year, and she's definitely my height for sure. Yeah.
Right on.
Um.
Right on.
Okay, so you you kind of just you make a huge different moves towards your life. So you're doing better in life. You're staying out of trouble with the law. You get remarried. Um, Beautiful choice, by the way. Um, Outstanding. I approve. Don't know how it
Have
happened.
you have,
I
have you
really
seen
think
me?
you
I mean,
lied to her about like the money you make or something.
no, I think
And
she
then now
lost.
she's
I
just too
think
far into it.
she lost a bet, and you know,
That makes sense too. Yeah. Oh well.
you know
You
what?
got a nice life
Listen,
insurance policy
I
anyway, and
want
she gets 50% of it. So
I want to tell you something that you might not have known.
what?
Did you know that all of this, everything, right? Uh, everything. that's happened to as good as I got it now, and the stuff that I do, and like I was building computers before, just as fun for fun. Uh,
Oh my god, that's where I get it from.
right. So everything that I got up here, do you know that I'm a seventh grade dropout? You didn't know that, did you?
You dropped out in the, well, you got kicked out of Illinois when you were 14, but you went to college.
I know.
Did you go to college in prison or were you out of prison? You went to college in prison.
No, I got my GED in prison. I went from seventh grade to GED to college, got out of prison, went to college in New Hampshire,
Okay.
transferred transferred to another college in Hartford, and then you came along.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I do got to ask this because for my entire life, so I'm 28, right? Just want to put this out here. I'm 28 years old. For 28 years, I have been led to believe that you went to college for grass,
Yeah. Legal grass.
legal grass, not weed.
Yes. No.
Right.
I mean,
What is your
weed's really a
degree?
violation.
What is your degree?
Horticulture. Well, I went for turf management and horticulture and political science, but see how good that went.
Okay.
What?
Nothing, Tat. Nothing. I'm taking this all in. Um, so do you have an associate's or a bachelor's? Like how far did you get?
I didn't finish.
Okay, moving on.
I didn't. I didn't finish because you know why?
Because of me?
But that was my own choice, though. That was my own choice.
Right, right. Okay,
I
okay.
I moved back to St. Louis, and your mom was pregnant, and we moved back to St. Louis. Uh, well, we were promised something by my real mom, and
Huh.
it didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You had a very
One of, one of the many, many, many heartbreaks that she caused me.
you had a
That was
very
one of them.
estranged relationship with her. I remember when my cousin died. We were at the funeral and she had approached me. And she approached me like she knew me. And I turned around so quick and I said, "Who are you?" And
Right. You never met her.
she goes, "I'm your grandma." I said, "No, you're not." And she's like, "I'm your
I
grandma
know.
Linda." And I was like, "My grandmother's name is Margaret, thank you." I was like, "I have no idea who
Right.
you
Yeah.
are." Come to find out, I had no idea because you never talked about her from what I remembered. You know what I mean? Not to an extent that I would have known. That was my very first memory of Linda was then.
Do you
Um,
know why? It's a three strike rule.
yeah.
And the first strike was I was two, and she left us.
Mhm.
The second strike was I was 16, and I was not allowed back in Illinois, and that's where she went.
Mhm.
I didn't have a choice but not go. You know what I mean? I didn't have a choice. I
Yeah.
couldn't go.
You legally could not do
And
it.
and the third strike was when we went back to Illinois. She was pregnant with you, and Linda and Roy promised us jobs with the company that he had started,
Mhm.
which we thought was all that. Come to find out, it was nothing. It was just he was a
Mhm.
handyman. But all that, and then she basically put us out. You know,
Yeah.
so that was strike three. Done.
Now, I know I've talked to Aunt Shirley, and Aunt Shirley got to a point where she ended up. I don't know if she like fully forgave her, but she did reach a point where she had talked with her or reconnected and
Yeah,
she was helping her out with things. Did you ever get to a point in your life before she passed away to forgive her or
I
reconcile or
tried. I,
just,
I tried twice,
yeah?
and it didn't work. No.
She had reached out to me. she reached out to me, and Roy had reached out to me after DJ had passed. And I want to say it was like right before she passed. It was right before she passed. It was like maybe like 2 months, 3 months maybe. And she had reached out about reconciling or seeing if we would ever meet each other again and stuff like that. It was very random. Never happened.
Well, my thing was the reason why
I
you
know
never
me.
met her until that point at DJ's funeral. You never met her because I wasn't going to let her come into you and Riley's life
Mm-hmm.
and have her disappoint you or hurt you guys like she did me. That wasn't an option,
Yeah.
you know. So
I know you had her name tattooed in your arm, and you actually, I'll add that. I'll add the picture whenever I edit this and post it to YouTube. But I saw that you had finally gotten that piece finished, where you put mine
yeah,
and Riley's name actually and the heart, and you actually got like the whole thing done around it. Yeah, you can show it. Yeah, the whole. Look at you. Oh, you're so proud of it. Yeah. Horrible angle, Dad. I don't think you understand how this works. Looks
I know.
good.
Well, my phone, it's on my phone, you weirdo.
I know, I know. I'll get a picture from social media and insert it here.
It's got my wedding anniversary in there too.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that part. I gotta say, your wedding photos, the theme with all the baseball, all my baseball friends, my MLB people in the chat, I will post it in my Discord, um, and I will tag you guys in it. I'm actually, ironically enough, a big community that I'm a part of, but I don't play the game, is MLB The Show. I have met a lot of my friends through the streaming, like through the streaming community, through MLB The Show, and I don't even play the game. I hate that game. I'm so bad at
And you know
it.
how many, and you know how many baseball players you've met?
I know. I know. See, I have pictures and gnomes in here now, and I've told our buddy Craw about this too. And I have pictures of when I chased down Mark McGuire into the locker room, and they had to page you and be like, "Hey, come get your kid." At the same day, I got the picture with Chris Pronger from the Blues. I have told them about how you go ahead and tell it. Tell them the story about Sammy Sosa.
Oh, we were standing at my place was behind home plate during every game. And I was out there before every game. You know, the media comes out there while they're taking batting practice, does interviews, and takes pictures of the guys hitting the ball, whatever. So I stand there, and I think your mom came down for a Cubs game,
Mm-hmm.
and we were standing at the backstop by the door, and Sammy Sosa came over and he grabbed you. He brought you to the field. You guys sat in front of each other with your feet touching, arms stretched out, and you guys were going back and forth,
Doing the rock and like
stretching.
stretching,
Yeah.
the pull stretching.
And everybody in the crowd just thought that was the most amazing. Like they just couldn't believe. Like I don't know how many people came up to me behind the backstop and said, "Oh, is that your kid? Oh, that's so awesome. She gets to do it." It really blew their minds when I told them that your name was Sammy too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like, like it was a setup or something. And I like, no, we didn't know he was going to do that.
yeah.
And here you are, Sammy and Sammy on the field stretching together. You know.
He is my second favorite player of all time.
And then the other time where rain delay, you remember this? It was a rain delay and we were putting the tarp on the field.
I
Somewhere
remember a
there's a
rain delay.
photo. There's a photo of you somewhere running out on the field with us, pushing the tarp with the whole grounds crew.
I do remember. Oh my god, I totally forgot
There,
about that.
I don't know where the photo's at, but there is a photo during a game. You're like, that's my dad, and you ran out there and you pushed the tarp with us.
No, my dad was a groundskeeper for the St. Louis Cardinals. He also was for the Marlins. But right
Marlins and the
now we're
Dolphins.
talking about during his time in St. Louis when he was a groundskeeper at Old Bush Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not to mention,
So
I mean, obviously the other obvious famous baseball player that I've met is my godfather, my uncle. Like,
well,
you know,
yeah,
Uncle Mac, you know, and the MLB for decades here. I
yeah, man.
remember I remember when he was with the Royals, he was the pitching coach for them from '06 to 11. I went out to Kansas City with him and Shirley, and I had I went out there and we went to a couple Royals games. Obviously, we're there like almost every single night. And I was obsessed with David DeJesus. Do you remember
Yeah,
when I was obsessed with him?
yeah,
Obsessed. I was so obsessed with this man. I loved his name. I don't know what it was. And I told
just
Uncle Mac
I
about
mean,
it. And like the next day, Uncle Mac came home with a baseball signed by David DeJesus, said to Sammy, best wishes, David DeJesus on it. I still have that ball in my garage.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, Noam, I can reach out to my dad. My friend Noam actually he's writing a college thesis paper about baseball. His topic is about Noam, you can also type this in here if I butcher this, but the gist of it is that he is discussing it's about baseball and like the snacks, like how like peanuts and beer are like a big part of baseball over the years and stuff, and the targeted audiences and the ads and sunflower seeds. My dad is sitting here chewing on those. I knew you were doing that. Baseball and beer, the hot dog and peanuts. Yes. He said he would love to connect with you if at all possible. He'd love to rack your brain because he's talking about the Cardinals. They're a big part, actually, in his thesis paper. If you'd be cool
absolutely,
with that, I can give him your Discord and stuff, and he can reach out to you.
absolutely.
I'll give you his Discord gnome. All right, so we talked about the baseball years. There were a couple other things here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're an old man. You probably have to go to bed soon because you're tired. Um,
Well, it's because I gotta be at work at 4 o'clock your time. So,
yeah. Anyway, whatever. All right. So a lot of people did have questions, obviously, about prison.
well,
Um, so we're gonna go through those real quickly because the inquiring minds want to know. Um, the first one is, what is prison really like? Is it as scary as TV makes it out to be?
okay, no, but it's still not fun.
No.
You know,
What level of prison were you in?
I was in maximum security.
I'll have to let Giltz know. He was a CO, and he was questioning. Um, I was like, well, I don't know exactly what it was for, but I do know what he tells me, and so I will tell you because I didn't want to ruin the podcast. So I was going to message him on the side and be like, so this is what he tells me he went there for, and then you can kind of guess like what level of prison he was in. I don't know, but that was our guess actually. Um, let's
I
see
was
here.
I was allowed to be out of my cell for 1 hour a day.
God, look at you trying to be a gangster.
No, no, but
Yeah,
if I wouldn't change it. To be
yeah,
where I'm at right now, I wouldn't change that. I don't ever
yeah.
want to do it again. I don't want to do
No.
it again. I will if I'm pushed to the point, but I won't. I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Just remember, family is everything.
absolutely. Another question was was readjusting to family life. Well, you didn't really have a family after prison. So, I mean, you didn't have a family come home to. You didn't start your
No,
family until after you were already
no.
out.
Actually, actually, when I got out of prison, I went to a halfway house in Hartford, Connecticut, and I didn't know anybody. I had nothing.
Yeah.
Not even a friend. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
Like
crazy.
right. I came out to
Was it hard
shit.
readjusting to society after you'd been away for a while?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because in my room at the halfway house, all my shit was hidden. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just like it would be if I was still in prison. Even though I didn't have to hide it no more. It was still hidden. You know what I mean?
Was the halfway house like a prison, but you're allowed to socialize somewhat back into
I,
society?
I would say it's more like, yeah, like a minimum security kind of prison where I could go out and get a job,
Yeah.
but we had to be home at a certain time. When
Yeah.
I got paid, I had to have a bank account that was like a passport account.
Mhm.
Every time I put money in the bank, they stamped my book, and I had to bring it back to the halfway house and show the workers that I deposited in my bank, and they kept my passport. They wouldn't let
Yeah.
us have it because they didn't want us taking out. And if I wanted to spend any of my money, I had to give a written request and it had to be approved. It wasn't like they just said, "Okay, yeah, go buy 10 comic books or a CD or whatever." It was I had to ask for it, and then maybe I got to do it. So
Yeah.
it was but it was supposed to kind of structure us to come out.
Mm, let's see here. I have a lot of stupid ones. A lot of people asked
Oh,
you if you had realized that I was insane already. Um,
I
another
I knew
question.
that. I knew that from like day one.
Yeah, okay. Another question is where did you go wrong with me?
Where did I go wrong with you?
Yeah.
Again, that's from the very beginning. Um,
Mm-hmm. 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 Another one, this is my
actually,
personal
actually,
favorite.
actually, you're a good mom, and I'm very proud of you as well.
I was gonna ask you that. Thank you. What do you think um what has happened in my life that's made you the most proud?
My grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a great mom. You're you're learning as you go, you know, but you're good.
I knew the tears gonna come at some point.
Absolutely.
I try, man. It's hard.
You struggle, but you do it.
Thanks.
Hundred
How did
percent.
you how did you feel when I told you that you were gonna be a grandpa the first time? Well, the second time, I guess.
Um, More so happier than when I found out that you were coming. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, because it was like the cake, and now that's the icing. You know what I mean? Like it was complete. It's hard to explain from a grandmother or a grandfather's point of view on that, because
Yeah.
when you're told that you're going to have a baby, I mean that's the proud moment. For most people, that's a proud moment. That's a happy moment. But until you experience that, and then being told you're going to be a grandparent, the fact that you get to love another little baby human being, shake them up like a soda can, and then give them back to their parents. There's nothing better than
Man,
that.
you do a good job at that. Every time we go down a vacation, it's like we literally, I remember Mama had told us that we had to make sure we had an empty suitcase
Yeah,
so we can go ahead and bring everything back. We went down to Florida to go surprise my dad for his birthday. And it was
very, very good
also,
surprise.
what'd you say?
Very, very, very good surprise.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I had you waiting for like an hour and you're like hungry as shit and you're like, what's going on? What are we waiting for?
Why are we in this town and it's this late? What's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Um, it was right before Easter, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
because you
well,
guys had
I
the
mean,
Easter baskets.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
With avocados from Mexico.
Yeah, he still sleeps with that. He got my youngest son, Gnome's best friend, actually. So Gnome will stream MLB The Show, and Stevie will get excited when Gnome's stream is on. So we'll put it up on the big screen TV in the living room. and we'll go ahead and we'll watch him play baseball because Stevie's obsessed with baseball. He loves it. It's his favorite sport, and he'll watch
Nice.
Gnome play baseball on stream. And uh, I totally just forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought.
Avocado
Oh,
from Mexico.
yes, yes. He actually will go ahead and he'll sit there with his avocado from Mexico. He will sit with it all the time until he'll sit there and watch, Gnome playing baseball. Yes, too bad you do teach in the mornings now. Gnome, he's also a teacher. He's a 10th grade, I think, teacher. But Steven started school too, so it was definitely our thing over the
Yeah.
summer that we would watch him stream all the time. Yeah. Um, another thing, let's see here. Let's see. So you kind of answered really in the gist of all the prison questions. You kind of answered that all by saying all of that. What was so we knew alcohol, right? So you said you were an alcoholic, like you couldn't just drink to have a good time. It was like you wanted to get like you just drank to get drunk, essentially. Like that's what it was for you. You were
Yeah.
not done until you were at least drunk.
Right.
Now, as far as the drug addiction went, what was your drug of choice and how did you get addicted?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was cocaine.
Yeah. And it wasn't just happened one night. I was drunk, tried it. That was it.
I don't know
There was no.
how I don't know how anybody likes the feeling that that drug gives you. The aftermath, the day after, it's because I've experimented. Don't get me wrong. The day after, though, I'm like miserable. I was miserable.
But that's the problem. The problem is there was no day after.
Oh, so it was like continue. How did you afford that?
Well,
Okay, all
told you I
right.
wasn't a good person.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, moving on. Which of my personalities is your favorite, and why is it the one when I'm sleeping? Um. Oh, these are all just roasting me. The other one is, do you think I could win a spelling bee tournament against a group of 10th graders?
Do I think you could?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Do you think my brother could?
This isn't about your brother.
This is going on TikTok tomorrow.
This is not about your brother. Listen, there's one thing. There's one thing that I still, to this day, brag to everybody about, and that's, believe it or not, how smart you are.
Really?
Yeah, when you were still in school, I used to get updates all the time, and all the time from various people,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very impressed, and I bragged a lot of people about how smart you are.
Well, thank you.
You know, sometimes you think you're smarter than me, which is it's okay because that's just the
I
smart
am.
ass in you.
No, I
But
am. It's fine. I
I will
am.
battle you.
I'm
I
sorry.
will
Who
battle
graduated
you at
college?
Jeopardy.
I mean, who graduated high school and college and is in college
I
again?
will, I will
I'm just
battle
saying.
you. Yeah, who runs a multi-million-dollar company?
By sitting in your AC truck all day?
Hey, 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 hey. I engineer everything we do. We build bridges.
Okay. All right. All right. Your God complex is
Exactly.
entering the chat right now.
No, 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 no. I'm a scientist. I don't believe in God. Go ahead.
Here's a good one. What do you think? And this comes from Corey. What separates a man from a boy, or what separates a man from a boy who's pretending to be a man?
There's only one. There's only one definition to a real man,
Yeah.
and that's a man that can provide and take care of his family, whether everybody in the house is his or not.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you come into that house, you take responsibility of that house, and you take care of everyone in that house.
Would
That's a
you
real man.
say would you say that I am with a real man
You're
finally?
you're not a man. Oh,
No.
yeah, I would definitely.
No, your grandson informed me that I am not a boy because I do not have a penis. So, yeah.
That we're aware of. Um,
Anyway, god damn it. Dad.
no, I definitely think yeah, Corey takes very he takes care of business. I will say that.
Thank you. I think the final question I have on my list here, and this is about your grandkids. If you
Oh
could
shit.
go anywhere with your grandkids for 2 weeks, all expenses paid, you don't gotta worry about it, and it can't be Florida, where would you take them?
Okay, well, they would hate it
It doesn't have to be one spot
because
either, but go ahead.
I know, but they would hate it, but now they would hate it. Later on in life, they would be so happy that it happened. I'm a history buff. I
Mm-hmm.
love anything history.
Mm-hmm.
I love anything history to our background.
Mm-hmm.
We would be in Iceland, Greenland. Uh, we would be going. I mean,
Hi, Tebsy.
we would be taking Viking voyages. I don't know what it is about just that's that's our heritage. That's our heritage, and that's something I've really been interested in a lot lately, but a lot my whole life. I love watching movies or documentaries on kings and queens and
Yeah, we're big on that
castle
too, actually.
and
Or
and
like movies
I
based on a
watch
true story.
right
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. There's nothing that I I love learning about it. So
Have you done a 23andMe?
no, but there's a reason why I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Because I got to give a swab so they can see all that, and I just want to make sure there's no bodies from my previous lifestyle that left any DNA next to. Like, did I lose a hair in the middle of a crime? Yeah.
Cool. So I will be the one to go ahead and get the 23andMe then, so they don't really need your DNA. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I heard
And
that.
nothing, and the being the crime with my DNA is nothing weird. I'm just afraid that maybe I hurt somebody and they didn't make it, and my DNA might be close by in the vicinity.
You don't want to go back to prison.
No,
Yeah. Yeah. Understandable. That's understandable.
because
Yeah.
again, I was a bad person and I hung out with bad people.
Yeah. 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 We gathered that. I
Was
you're
now I'm the nicest guy I know.
I actually said that. It was funny. I think Riley made a comment or something like that. He tagged me in a post and it was like, my dad with me, and it's that movie with the military dudes like yelling at the cadets or whatever, and then it goes my dad with my kids, and it was like soft as a teddy bear, something like that. And I was like, yeah, but dad was never like that with me because I'm his favorite child. So, you know.
You too.
I
That's
give
right. You two
I give
kill me.
Corey crap all the time because of how he is with Adeline. I'm like, you're showing favoritism. And I remember I made one comment jokingly at Aunt Shirley's house, and Aunt Shirley shut her fridge so quick and turned so fast. I thought she got whiplash. Looked back at me and was like, "And were you treated any differently when you were younger?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, you got a point."
Right.
I tell him, I was like, I mean, I get it. There's such thing as a daddy's girl, and I understand. I was like, I am a daddy's girl. So I know the stuff that I got away with. So I know what our daughter is trying to get away with sometimes. 100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you were to give, if you were to give a solid piece of life advice, What do you think? What advice would you give to somebody? Whether it be somebody battling their demons with addiction or drug abuse or any new parents or I mean you probably don't remember much about being a new parent, do you?
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you regret that?
I'm gonna tell you right now. There are some things I do regret.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Jackie the other day, nothing that I'm embarrassed about, but things that I do regret about. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that would be one of them. Sure,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I don't.
Don't
You
fully
know,
remember
for
when
a
you're
guy
younger.
for a guy that and I mean this sincerely, from a guy that remembers so much useless information
Mm-hmm.
to not remember some of the greatest things that I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I regret that because it was my own doing. It wasn't something that it wasn't something I was born with or whatever. It's something I chose, and so yeah,
Self-inflicted.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But the best advice would, don't beat yourself up. Just don't beat yourself up. Just don't keep doing the same things you're doing, but don't beat yourself up for doing things that you know what I'm saying. Like, that was my problem. My problem was I used to do stupid shit and find my way out of it and try to move on, but I would beat myself up over.
Like you would dwell in it too much.
Yeah, and and I would fall into like a depression or whatever, and I would just continuously, you know, I used to always think that people used to make fun of me or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't making fun of me. It was me beating myself up, assuming that they thought about me what I really thought about me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I had low self-esteem, so don't beat yourself up. You're you, and there's only one you. You know,
Yeah.
I and I still today. Jackie tries to get me to go out and help people because I need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done it yet. But the best way to keep what you have is to give it away.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I'm going to. Yeah.
It's pretty complex. It's pretty, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I can stay sane. I can stay sane by helping somebody else get sane. You know what I'm saying? I can stay sober by helping somebody else get sober. I can,
Yeah.
yeah, but believe me,
Um.
I didn't get to where I'm at by myself. I got to where I'm at because of you, because of Riley, because of Jackie,
Mm-hmm.
because of Shirley, because of Mac, because of Toby, because of Stevie. I didn't get to where I'm at by myself.
Yeah.
So the best way to show how much I appreciate everything that you guys have all done for me is to keep doing what I'm doing, but to help somebody else get out of their shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only advice I could say is pay it forward. You know what I mean? Pay it forward type of thing. Just pass it on. Pay it forward. Keep doing the next right thing. And this place, this whole country, the world would be a better place if everybody just paid it forward. Just do something nice for somebody.
Yeah. That's good advice. I have just a few more questions here for you.
Okay.
Let's see here. In regards to marriage and divorce, so you have experienced both sides of these spectrums, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you about this question for both your marriages. What made you pop the question? When did you like? What made you pop the question to propose? And like, yeah. What made you pop the question? I feel like I already know with my mom.
To Jackie? Oh
Well, I was gonna
no,
say with my
yeah,
mom. Was
but
it
you already know that
because of me? Because she was pregnant with me?
it was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
I thought.
That's a common thing. That's a common thing. People always feel that way. That's very, very common. I understand that. When did you realize, like, what happened where you realized, like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this woman when you proposed to mama?
With Jackie, well, it was, it was regular TV kind of situation bullshit. You know what I mean? It was one day we both had separated from each other for one day. Not mad at each other. Not she just had something else to do, and I had something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time we were doing something else, we were thinking about what the other one was doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we wanted to be. I wanted to be where she was at with her friends, experiencing what she was, the memories that she was making with them. I wanted to be a part of that. But then I wanted that for forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's really sweet.
Yeah. So it wasn't, and this is where it becomes TV, the same TV bullshit, Hallmark movie, whatever it is. I didn't, I didn't think of it as when playing around with it in my head. It wasn't the situation. It wasn't like, do I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman?
Mm-hmm.
It was, do I want to spend one more day without this woman?
Aw.
Yeah. So, and the answer was maybe. No, I'm just kidding. No, the answer was no. I don't. I don't. I couldn't be happier. I
Mm-hmm.
I think that definitely definitely picked the right person.
Oh, yeah. I fully agree with you on that one. I don't think
No
anybody else
question.
could put up with your bullshit.
And right to put up with my bullshit, and she
Mm-hmm.
supports most. And if I get a crazy idea in my head,
Mm-hmm.
she reminds me of all the other shit that the crazy idea is blocking. She reminds me of, well, you can't do that because you can't lose your job, because you can't do this, because we need, you know what I mean? Like she plays the tape all the way through, whereas I play the tape to where I get what I want, and I don't care about
Yeah.
the after effect,
And she's
you
like,
know?
wait a minute, hold on.
Right, right. And she keeps it to where, hey, listen, that'd be great if you could do that, but remember, we got to do this still, you know?
Yeah. Second to last question. Is your job as fun as it looks, like the whole landscaping and doing the projects and stuff? What is the most interesting projects that you've worked on?
Seriously. Um, we literally we built a bridge. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I do. I do concrete,
There
asphalt,
we go.
underground construction. Uh, like you said, I do landscape redesigns.
Mm-hmm.
I've got here's what I got. I got 150 employees. Um, the pecking order is the owner of the company, me, uh, seven managers, and then the rest are all our supervisors and then laborers. And literally, me and the owner, we spend a lot of time in meetings. We
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys have been to my job sites.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Um,
I'll have to share the pictures with that one. We went to a
yeah,
job
the
site,
boys.
and
Yeah,
it was really for Stevie, but all three of them loved it, and Stevie got to drive an excavator. It was like the happiest memory that he has.
right.
He
He
still
drove
talks about it.
My Doosan 350, which is a big
Yeah,
excavator
nobody
like they use
knows.
on.
Hmm.
Well, it's I'm just trying to like if you watch Gold Rush, it's like the ones on Gold Rush. It
Okay.
and you guys, the job site you went to was one where we're building a new high school in town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's one job we're doing, and then another job we're doing is um, down in Palm Beach, which is probably one of the richest areas in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter is where Tiger Woods lives. Jupiter Island, Tiger
Mm-hmm.
Woods, Molina, the catcher
Mm-hmm.
for the Cardinals, he lives there. Some golfers live there. We're we're putting a road in down there. It's beach. It's the road. It's called Beach Road. We're taking the old road out and we're putting a new road in.
Oh, that's pretty
You know what
cool.
I mean? So we do stuff like that. We built the bridge from the mainland to the island. I'm all part of all these projects. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I'm on the job site. I do it from my truck. I do have an office. I just most of the time I got my computer, my internet in my truck, so I don't ever have to, go. But I, read blueprints, and this is the thing where I was telling you before. It's not too bad for a kid to grad or dropped out of school in the seventh grade. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's proof that it's not all about going to college and getting a degree and stuff too. Like there's such thing as like
Right.
there's like trade work, like what Corey does. You know, we kicked off the HVAC
Right.
business and it's done pretty good. It's slow pace moving, but it's we're getting there. You know, and it's done enough
Right.
to
And
support our
it's
family.
word of mouth, build and build and build and build.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from being just an employee at this company to now
Mm-hmm.
I make. I mean, last year we made $44 million.
That's
You know,
insane.
right? And I didn't make that for me. I made that for the company. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But that's where I'm at.
No, if you
I
made that
make
for yourself, I'd be like, sir, can I have some
right
gas money?
exactly. Help somebody out, will you? No,
Right, like I got your grandkids, man, and we have their
I don't.
birthdays are back to back to back.
Right. I don't make that kind of money for me, but I make $1 million decisions every day for the company. You know, so that's pretty much what we do. So the most interesting one right now that I'm working on is we're building that high school.
Right on. Well, I'm just taking a look here. I think that's pretty much it for all the questions. I don't have any more in chat either. I think I let me just double check here. Um, but I think we let's see here. Oh, Jordan did want to know. We didn't get to touch base on this. You had mentioned like Jackie's anniversary is in April. What anniversary did she have? What year was it for her?
14.
14. Oh, that's cool. Your guys' anniversaries right next to each other.
Yeah.
Now, touch base on that
No,
just a split
her,
second.
her
Go ahead.
anniversary is her anniversary is 421
Yeah, yeah. Uh huh.
because she had to wait a day.
Yeah, yeah. Understandable, understandable. You know, we
Right.
all get
So
that.
yeah.
We get it. Just one
Yeah.
more for the road.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
hilarious. Well, I think that's it. Did you have any questions for me or any comments for me about what I've been doing? Oh, actually, how did you feel whenever I graduated college and then 6 months down the road when I told you I re-enrolled for my bachelor's degree?
That was a proud father moment.
Yeah,
No question.
yeah,
It was, it was a lot better than you telling me that, you weren't going to do anything. You did something. You told me you were going to do it, and you did it. So
yeah.
it was a very, very proud father moment.
I have homework due after this podcast, actually. I'm gonna go reheat my dinner and then I have some homework I gotta do tonight. it's a struggle, but it's not as bad. It's just making the time for the lessons and this school is a little bit different because this school is actually so this one's the LA School of Film. And this is specifically for the graphic design and some
Right
sort of
on.
science degree or something like that. But yeah,
Nice.
okay. Did you have any other
Where
questions or comments or anything?
this
Oh,
is. I'm glad you asked me to do this, and
oh, there you
I'm
are. Okay.
what?
You froze a
Did I
bit.
disappear? Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
just I'm proud of you for going through with it. It's very
What is happening to my stuff right now?
well. I mean, you live in Illinois.
Yeah, way to dox me, Dad. Thanks.
I'm just saying.
Everybody knows I live here. It's fine. Well,
Well,
thank you
I'm
for
just saying.
thank
You
you
know,
for doing this and joining us and coming in and listening to us and telling us a bit about you and answering all our questions and making me cry.
I mean that's what. If I can't make you cry, then I mean, what's the sense of even talking? It's
Yeah, all
almost like
right.
when we play video games together and I kill you. You
Oh
know,
God,
I get
yeah.
it.
We need to
It's all
actually.
good.
I need to know when we're playing Sniper Elite again. When we doing that?
Yeah, well, get as many people as we can together, and we'll make a match, and I'll destroy everybody. I don't
Yeah,
care.
nobody plays it, Dad.
Listen, nobody plays it because you don't tell them to. You didn't play it until I told you to.
All right, I'll get on it. Now, actually, very last question here as we get out here. Okay,
Okay.
when are you going to be downloading Fortnite and debuting in Fortnite with me for a stream? Okay, I can. Okay, for a second there, I couldn't tell if your screen was frozen or not.
I seen that in a commercial once. The guy froze, but then the kid walked in behind him, and knew him.
It started
I
to
was
shake in the background a bit. I was like, wait a second. I'm like, no, you're not frozen.
I was trying to freeze, but I got shit playing in the background, all
Your
kinds of shit
fish are
going on
swimming
there.
back behind you too.
Damn fish. Sit still. Uh, I don't know anything about that game.
Well, you should download it and you should play it with me tomorrow.
I will definitely put that on the consideration.
All
Let's
right.
put. Hey, I got an idea. Let's put a pin in it,
No,
and
good.
we'll circle back and get to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Oh. Oh man, I have one more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you just verify? Wasn't there a spot that you and the groundskeepers would play paintball together, or you would do something
Yeah.
where? Wasn't it underneath the stadium?
Under the stadium. I tell people this a lot lately. So there was two spots. One we used to
Okay.
play roller hockey in,
Okay.
and uh, like say, okay, so you know they got like five pitchers, right?
Mm-hmm.
One pitcher pitches one night, one pitcher pitches another night. So if the pitcher pitched last night, he's not going to pitch again for 5 more days, right? So he would bring his rollerblades to the stadium, knowing that he wasn't going to be pitching for 4 more days. He'd come down and like Matt Morris, uh,
Okay.
Daryl Kyle, all these guys. They either played wiffle ball with us down there, or they played roller hockey with us, and so we did that a few times, but there was underneath the stadium was an unexcavated area. I mean,
Yeah.
we found stuff down there from the '60s, you know,
Yeah.
the '40s, and it was all these mountains of dirt and just all kinds of weird crap that you could hide behind. And we used to go down there and play paintball during when there was a baseball game going on right above us. We were
Yeah.
down there shooting each other
I
with
told
paintball
people
guns.
this. I told people this. I was like, I've been down there. They would play paintball underneath the stadium, and
Yeah,
people thought I was crazy or making something up. I'm like, no, I swear to you. I'm like, there
yeah.
was some crazy stuff that happened at Old Bush Stadium that you never would have thought of.
Absolutely. We used to drive our little carts down there. I've taken
Yeah.
you through there.
Yeah. I vividly remember it. I do. I also remember you had a crazy coworker that told me if I kept sticking my tongue out, he was going to rip it out and pin it up on the corkboard in the break room.
Yeah, that could have been it. At that point, it could have been anybody. We were a good group of guys.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it. I think I've had enough. I don't know. I might have a bunch of the baseball fanatics that I'm friends with. They might want you to do a second debut here and talk to us about your baseball days and learn some like cool,
Absolutely.
interesting
There
stuff.
was there was 13 years of it, so
Yeah.
feel free. I'll be more than happy to.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Dad. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I love you.
Love you too. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, bye. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today's podcast. I do appreciate everybody coming on out here and talking with us and learning more information about my dad. There are a couple interesting facts that I didn't even know about him. So that was actually really, really cool. And I think we might actually do a part 2 for my baseball friends here. My dad is definitely willing to go ahead and talk to us about the cool days when he was a groundskeeper for the Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. With that being said, I am going to call it a night. I got some homework I got to get done. This will be on YouTube. Tomorrow I will have uploaded last week's podcast. I think I'm going to start getting these a lot quicker. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow around, I'll see you tomorrow around 8 o'clock Central. All right. Have a good evening. Bye.